2019, we're finally here. I can't believe we got here, because I always thought when I was a kid that 2019 was way in the future, but it's happening now. It's no longer part of a future story. 2018 was one of the best years we've had in games release history. There was just so many great games. I'm actually thinking of doing a follow-up video about playing some of the games that you missed from last year. Far Cry 5 came out, Red Dead Redemption 2. It was God of War. It was crazy. But there is still a huge amount of games that we're already looking forward to in 2019. Of course, there are rumors and very likely there to be truths behind them about new consoles that are going to be announced for both Xbox, PlayStation, and brand new competing. There's this Mad Box. I'll find out a little bit more about that. But let's focus on the games for the gamers. So here are my top 20 most anticipated games for 2019. Let's go. BioWare, the incredible studio that brought us the original Mass Effect series, let's just forget that Andromeda exists, has been hard at work creating Anthem, a multiplayer action RPG that seems to have a lot of DNA taken out of Destiny's design playbook. As a result, we'll be getting single player and cooperative multiplayer scenarios on pretty much every platform, Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. Development for Anthem began shortly after Mass Effect 3 by Casey Hudson, the executive producer of the original Mass Effect trilogy. He knows how to make games. I'm really excited about it. Zombie games aren't going anywhere, because this year we'll be seeing Days Gone, an action-adventure title made for PlayStation 4 in the Unreal Engine. If you've seen the trailers, you'll have noticed the primary benefit of the engine of the game, just massive hordes of zombies. Also, it looks amazing. I've never seen this many zombies sprinting all at once since DayZ. If you watch DayZ, that is the most frightening kind of zombie. Don't like a sprinting zombie. There's a dynamic weather system with a day-night cycle, plus a whole bunch of vehicles to drive. This might be the polished, cinematic, Walking Dead video game experience that we've always wanted. Who knows if this is a little too late to the pirate party, but Ubisoft are finally dropping Skull and Bones, their open-world tactical adventure pirate title focused specifically on ship warfare. It's gonna have to compete with Atlas and Sea of Thieves, but as we know, Ubisoft know how to develop compelling pirate games. Black Flag was amazing, and the ship combat in Assassin's Creed Odyssey was incredible. Hey, more pirate games to blow up the Caribbean? I'm down. Do you guys remember Rage? Not too many people do, but the original was in many ways a technical masterpiece that lacked a memorable gameplay experience. Things this time around are looking very different, and in a good way. Rage 2 is a post-apocalyptic first-person shooter that's ditching the grim color palette of the desert and going large with bright colors, splashes of blood, and fast-paced open-world action. The original Rage was inspired by Just Cause 3. By the way, you gotta pick up Just Cause 4. That was one of my 2018 games that you should have been playing. So expect chaotic car combat, explosions, and loads of violence. Stepping away from the traditional numerical naming conventions, kind of like they did with Primal. I'm not sure if this is sticking around, but it's happening. The game is set in the same universe as Far Cry 5, and just after the events of the first game. First game being Far Cry 5, not Far Cry 1, okay? It's the same you understand. Anyway, spoilers alert, also play this game if you haven't. Incredible title, but of course, it's a sequel, so there will be spoilers. It's set in a post-apocalyptic landscape after the bombs have dropped at the end of 5. The game will be available on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC on February 15th. I love me some Far Cry 5, always want more. From the legendary game dev studio From Software, from whence came the Dark Souls series, that's a mouthful, comes a title set in feudal Japan. Expect shinobi-style fighting, Japanese lore and myth, as well as a lot of dying, you know. They're pretty good at that. And in true From Software style, there'll be no hand-holding. Being set in the 16th century Sengoku Japan period, this is going to most likely usher in a new and exciting chapter that graduates beyond the muddy aesthetic of the Dark Souls universe. I'm really tired of those brown color palettes. I'm looking forward to something new. Harry Potter Wizards Unite. You didn't think there'd be a mobile game in here, but now there is. I love location-based mobile games. I play a ton of Jurassic World Alive, and I'm pretty excited to have Les join me on excursions outside dino hunting, or in this case, Fantastic Beasts hunting from the Harry Potter universe. The game is being produced by Niantic, the studio behind the Pokemon game. In fact, the game should play in a very similar way to the Pokemon counterpart, so expect teams, crazy creatures from Drake Raleigh's universe, Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Platforming titles have become a solid staple regardless of what 3D, VR, or massive GPUs that get released that year. It's a genre that's here to stay, and one of my favorites this generation has been Ori and the Blind Forest. The sequel, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, is gonna blow up my thumbs sometime this year and will be available on Xbox and PC. I can't wait to experience the beautiful world and challenge myself in one of the finest platforms that I have ever had the privilege of playing. Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey. I remember when Assassin's Creed came out and how brave the move was to step into a detailed third-person AAA period piece, a time that was rarely visited in video games. While most studios went for sci-fi future, Ubisoft went for ancient Damascus. The mastermind behind Assassin's Creed, Patrice Desilets, please, it's French. I don't know if that's correct. Cut me some slack. Patrice has since left and formed his own studio called Panache Digital Games, and they're launching something rather unique. Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey. It's a third-person survival action game set in Africa. You play as proto-humans experiencing a slice of life of early humans. I love the concept and I'm excited about where this title goes. Also, I read Sapiens and this will help me put a visual to what I've read in the book. Good book, should read it. This is not a book review channel. Devil May Cry 5. Dante is back, and so is Nero. Devil May Cry is crashing onto multiple platforms this year with Devil May Cry 5, the hack and slash adventure series that defined a genre. The last one was polished and well loved, so here's looking forward to a solid experience. The game is being developed in the Resident Evil Biohazard engine with a focus on creating more photorealistic finish to the graphics, so those demons are gonna look really real as a demon can look. But as long as the frame rate is 60 plus on consoles, I'll be happy. I need that fluidity. It's set to launch on the 8th of March 2019. Tom Clancy's The Division 2. The first Tom Clancy's The Division had problems at launch, and a lot of people, including myself, have bundled my entire experience into the first few months with The Division. That's an unfair assessment. The game has since come into its own, becoming one of the strongest co-op online experiences next to Warframe and Destiny 2. The Division 2 will move away from a cold, snowy New York, again I want a brighter color palette please, and step into the humidity of Washington DC. And from those trailers, it looks incredible. They've claimed not to take a political route with the story, which I think is a massive missed opportunity, being a Tom Clancy title and setting it in Washington DC. But hey, I don't know, maybe they want to sell more copies or something. The release gameplay so far looks incredible. I'm in, hook, line, and center. There's gonna be a lot of The Division 2 on my live streams this year. I reckon. Gears 5. The ultimate cooperative third-person shooter is back on Xbox and PC later this year for more Gears of War party action. The narrative focus will be on Kate Diaz, and the rumors are we'll begin to uncover the origins of the Locust, the horde of burrowing enemies that caused the war that brought humanity to its knees. Expect a polished split-screen couch co-op experience and hopefully a banging horde mode. I always welcome couch co-op. It is something that game developers need to put all their back into. Yeah, so here's to that. Kick some ass. Molecule Media, the studio behind Ragdoll Kung Fu, are releasing a title called Dreams, where you play as an imp that interacts with a sandbox world. You can bring your friends and your family for a colorful game state-altering sandbox experience, one that's guaranteed to unleash your creativity. We know Molecule Media, this is the potential to be really cool. Unfortunately, like most of their games, Dreams will be exclusive to PlayStation. I heard you liked anime! Well, if you do and love a little beat 'em up, then Jump Force could be your game of the year. I'm not kidding. Playable characters are all characters from Shonen Jump's anime series like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. You can play as Goku, Luffy, Naruto, and so many more. It's an anime fan's ultimate crossover. They've produced some incredible beat 'em ups, and mashing up their intellectual properties is such a stroke of genius. It's going to be available on all platforms on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, 2019. Show how many people you love them by punching them in the face as Goku. Metro Exodus. The first-person horror survival is back, and it's looking grimmer than ever. Grim as in the tone of the game, not as in the game's quality, because that looks spot on. Scavenge your way through a post-apocalyptic former USSR, fighting violent enemies and hostile mutant creatures. The game will include a dynamic weather system, a day-night cycle, and a changing of seasons. This is one immersive taste of hell you're gonna want seconds of. Seconds as in you're gonna want to come back for it, not seconds as in you want a short period of time. Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat is finally back. Mortal Kombat X was incredible, and Ed Boon, the legend behind the series, is back to give beat 'em up gamers the ultimate fighting experience. This is if Jump Force doesn't take it for you, but they're leagues of their own. 21 Savage did the announcement trailer, so there's already like peak hype when that came out. Expect the best combat, the return of classic characters, and a brand new standard in the fighting genre. Shenmue III. The original Shenmue was the most expensive game to have been developed at the time, clocking in at a whopping $47 million. Fans have been so eager to play a Shenmue 3 that they crowdfunded the initial development cost of $2 million in 8 hours on Kickstarter. Well, whether you like it or not, it's being released in 2019 and the cult following are ecstatic. If you've followed the Shenmue story up till now, you'll be happy to know that the game picks up right after the events of the second game. And if you haven't played Shenmue before, kind of like myself, I'm very intrigued to see what this game's about and what all the hype is about. Wolfenstein Youngblood. This new generation of gamers, not doing an old accent, this new generation of gamers might not quite understand the impact that Wolfenstein had on the gaming industry. But Bethesda are taking it upon themselves to reintroduce you to the gaming legend. Wolfenstein Youngblood sees you playing as BJ Blazkowicz's twin daughters. The game will be a co-op experience set in the 80s in an alternate universe where Nazis have taken over the world. So you can kick Nazis' ass in Wolfenstein's amazing gunplay in co-op together. I'm in. This might quite possibly be better than every Wolfenstein before it. And lastly, Sea of Solitude. Sea of Solitude is an action adventure that's published by EA. This division of EA that published it did a lot of the indie games. So Unraveled is one of them that brought us this. So this looks really interesting from a creative standpoint. The creative director, Cornelia Geppert, tried to make this game a self-expression, a very artistic self-expression of her own fears and emotions while you explore an abandoned submerged city. I'm really excited. I like the art style, I like where this game is going, and I like what EA are trying to do with indie developers and helping support them. So who knows, Sea of Solitude might be your game of the year. If there's anything that you think that I've left out of this, please let me know in the comments below. I'm really excited about 2019. What kind of games are getting released? What are we going to be playing? What are we going to be live streaming? Again, all of the games that I mentioned, I will be live streaming on my Twitch channel. Link is in the description below. And if you want to, you can support my sponsors by checking out the links below and purchasing from them. I don't make any money from those links. They do support the channel financially in other ways, and that's primarily the way that you can help support the space. I'll see you guys in another video. Cheers to 2019.